Privilege of the Monastery. Germanus, Bishop of Paris. August 21, 566.
To the esteemed apostolic men, holy and in Christ brothers, all the bishops of the city of Paris, with the grace of God for the future, and enriched by heavenly visitation, Germanus, a sinner. It is well known what kind and how great around the monasteries and churches, or towards the men fearing God, was the illustrious memory of the most glorious King Childebert, whose utmost benevolence bestowed abundant benefits upon many, and granted perpetual stability to our immunity. Indeed, thinking that he who would reserve these temporal things to be reaped, much greater things would be attributed to him by God if for his sake he would found churches and temples, sustain the needs of the poor, offer small things for great ones, and acquire heavenly things in exchange for earthly ones. Therefore, he commanded us to consider some things for the merit of his burial, and what was considered was granted. Thus this illustrious prince built a basilica in Paris in honor of the Holy Cross, Lord Vincent, and the remaining saints in one body, placed his burial therein, and decreed through the page of his testament that we should have the abundance of his generosity, and established the merit of having such a place for the order. But while the page of his testament and the faith of his heart temporarily flourished under human frailty, due to the cunning of some, so that eternal blessedness might not be granted to him, and the writing would not take effect, and at the same time the appointed abbot and congregation would not receive it, and would perish from the barrenness of sustenance and clothing, his memory warned me, and for the love of him such security terrified me, along with the affection of piety and charity. For he, after God, while he lived, was our immunity and security, peace and recovery, and separation from all civil business. We, considering his devotion in this matter and aiming to establish the will of the other kings, want your brotherly love and affection to align with ours. We want the honor of that holy place and the memory of the glorious prince to shine there for all time, and for the church to have an abbot from its own congregation who, under the governance of kings, can provide for the place through successive generations, and that no bishop of Paris shall have any power over that place, ensuring they have no authority over matters related to it. We also decree that no metropolitan or any of his suffragans may enter for any ordination, unless invited by the abbot to celebrate the holy mysteries, consecrate churches, or bestow blessings on clerics or monks, which they must not refuse. Furthermore, from this day forward, both in my time and in the time of my successors in the seat of Paris, or from God-fearing princes, any estates, villages, fields, gold, or silver that have been delegated or donated must be retained in full. I have decreed through this charter of immunity and cession that my basilica remains free from the obligation of deeds. And because this was not customary before, and is now granted to me by kings and princes, I didn't want to omit your pious will in this writing. I ask that it be strengthened and confirmed by you in all things, so it remains valid henceforth. And if anyone ever tries to oppose this decision of mine, which I have written down for firmness with the advice and persuasion of the metropolitan and the rest of the bishops, or if they look for an opportunity to contradict it at any time, let them be excommunicated by all the bishops and priests of God, both now and in the future, and let them be cut off from peace. In the future judgment, with the saints and friends of God, in whose honor this document was made, let them feel my judgment and that of my lords, the metropolitans and current bishops over them, and let them be anathema maranatha. Moreover, to give this document greater weight, I have strengthened it with the signatures of the bishops and my fellow presbyters and deacons of the province. Done in the city of Paris, on the 12th day before the calends of September, in the 5th year of King Childebert I, Germanus, a sinner, re-read and signed this document of cession and immunity made by me on the date above. Nicetius, Bishop of Lyon, in the name of Christ, at the request of the Apostolic Lord and my brother, Bishop Germanus, and Lady Queen Ulthragatha, and Lady Crodesinda and Croberga, I re-read this constitution which is to be kept perpetually by the successors of Lord Bishop Germanus from now on, and I confirmed it with my signature on the noted day. Pretextatus, Bishop of Chalon-sur-Saône, gladly accepted, re-read, and signed the above deliberation on the noted day, at the request and in the presence of Lord Bishop Germanus Felix, Bishop of Orleans, signed it on the noted day according to the agreement and deliberation of Lord Germanus, to remain in perpetuity. Euphronius, Bishop of Nevers, re-read and signed this deliberation on the noted day, at the request of Lord Apostolic Bishop Germanus. Domitianus, Bishop of Chartres, agreed with and signed it on the noted day according to the agreement and deliberation of my brother, Bishop Germanus Donalus, Bishop of Le Mans, agreed and signed it on the noted day. Calatricus the sinner, with the agreement and consideration of Lord Germanus the bishop, agreed and signed on the noted day. Viturius the sinner, with this consideration, in the presence of my brother Germanus and at his request, agreed and signed on the noted day. Leodebatus the sinner agreed, and signed on the noted day. The scribe, under the order of Lord Germanus the bishop, wrote and signed this privilege of cession.